I don't want to get up. So today I'm going to show you guys a realistic get ready with me. I literally still have crust in my eyes right now. I'm going to show you guys my skincare routine, and I'm going to show you how I go from this to this. So the first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning is wash my face. I use my Shea Moisture African Black Soap, and I also go in with my spin brush. My skin needs constant exfoliation for it to thrive, because if I don't exfoliate, I break out. And then I just rinse it off. If I do have time in the morning before I do my makeup, I like to use a detox mask. So today I'm going to use the Teamy Detox Mask. This mask has matcha, lemongrass, and clay in it. This mask is made with bentonite clay, so it really purifies the skin. I really love bentonite clay because I love how smooth it makes my skin feel, and it just kind of sucks out all the impurities, especially if you have blemishes. They kind of just suck all the pus out of them. I know that sounds gross, but bentonite clay is really good for acne. Before I get into more details, I just want to shout out Teamy. Thank you guys so much for collaborating with me on this video. Shout out to you guys. So this is what the mask looks like. I really do like this mask. It doesn't burn the skin. It detoxifies the skin without making your skin dry or flaky. It's a really strong detox mask, but it does not make your skin feel bad afterwards. You know what I mean? This product is 75% organic, and it can be used 3 to 4 times a week. I use my detox mask about 2 times a week so that I don't overdo it, you know? Applying this mask is really easy, and a little bit goes a long way, so you do not need to apply a lot. And I love that this mask comes off pretty easy so that you don't have to struggle. I like to take my masks off in the shower, but this one is pretty easy to take off if you are not getting in the shower as well, which I like. I've been using this mask non-stop since I got it. I just like to put detox masks in the areas that I need the most detoxing. So like in the areas that I just put it. This also clears out your blackheads, especially if you have a lot of blackheads like on your nose area. It will like suck all of those up. So I remember getting this mask from Ulta a little while ago, and I enjoyed it back then, and I still really like this mask now. If you follow me on Instagram, you know how many times a week I do face masks. I don't do detox masks every day, but I like to do a mask almost every day. I usually switch in between a hydrating mask, a detox mask, or like a kind of regular everyday sheet mask. But this mask is definitely worth the buy. You can purchase this from Ulta, or you can purchase it online. I will have a discount code in the description box for you guys to purchase it if you'd like. If you like detox masks like me, you will most likely love this. I'm just gonna let this face mask dry on my face for about 15 to 20 minutes while I make breakfast, and I'll be right back to show you what it looks like when it's dry. So the mask is almost dry. I'm gonna wash it off in about 5 minutes, but this mask does not make your face feel super stiff to where you can't move it. But this is what it looks like as it's drying. So my face mask is almost dry. It's been about 5 minutes, but I'm going to leave it on for a sec while I talk to you guys about crusty lips. Before we get into the crusty lips part, let me just explain something to you guys. When I used to do makeup back in the day, I had so many people come into me with skin that was not exfoliated. And I feel like that was my biggest pet peeve being a makeup artist, was doing makeup on top of crusty skin. And then people tend to complain about how their foundation and how their concealer and stuff looks, but your skin underneath is flaky. Unless you suffer from a skin condition of some sort, exfoliate. You need to exfoliate your face like I just showed you how to do masks. Like, take care of your skin, especially if you get your makeup done or if you do your makeup a lot, because it's really important. You can exfoliate with a spin brush, you can use a scrub if your skin is not sensitive, but seriously, if you're not taking care of your skin, do it. Like, you won't regret it, I promise you. Find products that work for you. Just at least exfoliate. Find a chemical exfoliant that works with your skin, a physical exfoliant, or use a spin brush, you know? Okay, so back to crusty lips. If you do have crusty lips, especially if you're going to get your makeup done or if you're going to wear a matte lipstick, exfoliate your lips. Use honey and sugar and scrub it on your lips like this, or you can get the chapstick total hydration, what is it called? The Total Hydration Lip Exfoliant. You can get these at Target or Walmart. They sell them everywhere. And I also love the e.l.f. It looks like a lipstick, but it's a exfoliant, and it's about $3 from Target or Walmart. Those work great too. But I use this on my daughter's lips too, because her lips get really dry and crusty in the wintertime, and this helps so much. So even if your kids have like dry lips in the winter, exfoliate them. Take some honey and some sugar, or get this. It's really easy, really cheap, and just go in and scrub your lips. Oh, I'm gonna show you guys really quick how I do it on Leilani.
I too heavy.
Say hi.
Hi.
We're gonna show them how you exfoliate your lips, okay? She hates when I do it, but she loves the results afterwards. Here, let me see. Put your lips together. See, she's ready. Scrub, scrub, scrub. I know, they're gonna feel better after. She hates it, but it works. Close your mouth. She hates the feeling on her lips. Here, we're gonna rinse it off. You do this every time. Okay, ready?
No, first. That's your turn, Mommy.
I know, it's my turn now. This leaves my lips feeling really hydrated and plump and just supple, and they're really smooth. Okay, so now it's time to rinse this mask off. I'm just gonna take one of Leilani's towels and take the mask off. I use warm water to take this off. So my skin feels really smooth. I had a couple of like whiteheads on my forehead that have just disappeared. Actually, it doesn't feel super dry, like it needs moisture, but I'm gonna put moisturizer on anyway because that's what I do. Lately I've been obsessed with this Clinique moisture jelly. It's so good, guys. I haven't been able to find a moisturizer that's my moisturizer in years, but this one right here is so good. All year round I use this oil. I use the Bahi Sunflower Sweet Serum. I don't think they're Bahi anymore, they're another name now, but yeah, it's a sunflower sweet serum. This was all over Twitter a while ago, and I decided to pick it up because people are raving about it, and I totally see why. I have a big jar of this now. It's not cheap, but I love it. It just gives your skin this glow, and I really feel like this helps combat my acne as well, and it definitely helps with my scarring. So since I barely got any sleep last night, I'm going to use these gold eye patches by Peter Thomas Roth. These are really bougie. They have eye patches like this at Marshalls and TJ Maxx, and they work just as good as these, but these really help to get rid of any puffiness. Okay, so now it's makeup time. I'm about to go downstairs and beat this face. All right, guys, so I'm sitting in front of my window because I wanted to film in natural sunlight. When I record downstairs in the basement, it kind of doesn't do my face any justice. Like, my dark spots look darker. Like, it just doesn't make my face look like my face. So I really wanted you guys to see what my face looks like in natural daylight with no lighting, and like how my makeup looks, because I feel like it gives you more of a real feel. I know the background isn't like super perfect, but I'm just tired of being perfect, you know, and trying to be like put together all the time because it's not real life. I'm gonna pop in the Desio caramel brown contact lenses. Okay, so taking these little eye patches off, so my eyes feel really hydrated underneath there, which is nice. And then I go in and hydrate my lips with some lip oil. I use the Ulta lip oil. It's so good. Now my lips look nice and juicy. First, because I put oil on my face, I like to kind of blot my skin a little bit, because in between time, I've been sweating. I'm gonna use 2 primers today. I'm gonna use the DermaBlend primer, and I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier primer. So this primer is more on the glowy bronzy side, and this primer is just for tackiness. I wouldn't use these if you were oily at all, because they don't help control oil. These also really don't help filling your pores either. So I would say this routine is more targeted towards people that have normal to dry skin, because if you're oily, I would prime with something that's more pore filling and something that's more matte. So for example, I would use something like the Maybelline Pore Eraser. And if you're really oily, I would use powder before your foundation, or you can use the like Becca mattifying primer. That's a really good primer for super extremely oily skin. I'm not super oily, I'm more like combination. So I can get away with using both of these together. All I'm gonna do is apply some of this primer directly to my face. Oh, that was way too much. I just wanna make sure I get my entire 5 head in view for you guys. And then I just go in with the DermaBlend one. I put this one more in the center of my face, just because I don't need this part of my face to be super glowy. And I just kind of massage the primers into my skin. I love the way the Laura Mercier primer looks on my skin and how it makes my skin feel. I put that down my neck too, and I just really massage that into the skin, more like a lotion than a primer, just to make sure that everything is you know, looking right. So for foundation, I've been loving the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and I'm in the color Chai, and this foundation matches me so well. It's a little bit too dark for me once it dries down, but I like that, because when I add my highlighting and contouring, it doesn't look super crazy. Like I said, I'm not oily, I'm more combination. There's a squirrel. So I get oily, like a little bit oily in my T-zone area throughout the day, and then everywhere else I'm pretty normal. And I think that's due to my skincare routine and how much I exfoliate and the products that I use, because I used to be really super oily. And I heard that if you use oil on your skin, it tells your skin not to produce as much oil. So if you're oily, don't be scared of oil, because it could help you. This foundation has more of a satin skin-like finish, and in foundations, that's what I love. So this is a foundation that I really enjoy. So all I'm gonna do is apply this to the... Oh my God, I just got foundation all over my shirt, guys. Look at this. Never do your makeup in a white shirt. Put 1 pump on one side of my face, and then put another pump on the other side of my face. I just go in and use a Morphe MB8 brush and blend it out. And I have a little burn down here, so I just apply some of the foundation on top of that. And I also have been applying foundation underneath my eyes so that I don't have to apply as much concealer. I probably still apply a lot of concealer anyway, but it's whatever. What I do like to do though is use my beauty blender after I go in with my foundation brush, because it just kind of makes my foundation look more skin-like. So I'm gonna go in with my microfiber sponge, and I'm just gonna go in and blend the foundation out a little bit more. At this point, the foundation is a little bit drier, so it's not gonna sheer it out as much, but we can still like pat the foundation into the skin. If you think your foundation is blended out, it's not. Keep blending. So for brows, I either like to go in with the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the color Ebony. This is a really nice twist up brow pencil that has a really fine point on it, and it also has a spoolie on the other end, so it makes your brows really quick and easy. But if I want my brows to be poppin' and really precise, I like to use the Anastasia Dip Brow. This stuff I would use if you have time to do your brows. I have time today, but if I was in a hurry and I had to like go somewhere, like go to work or school or somewhere, I would definitely suggest using this. I like to use a Zoeva winged liner brush for my brows because it's really sharp and the bristles are really like thin, so it makes it really easy to do my brows without messing up. So what I do is just take some of the products, and I also like kind of make the brush really thin by doing this, going back and forth on my hand. Then I go in and do my brows. I like to spoolie them up first so that I know what hairs I'm working with first. Then I just go in. So what I've been doing lately is taking some of my foundation and putting it on my hand, right? And this is an extra step that you don't have to do if you're rushing, because I definitely would not do it. But I just like to clean up the top portion of my brows with my foundation, because I don't want my brows to look like they have a halo around them. This foundation just melts into my skin. And I like to use the MAC 212 brush. This is a really flat synthetic eyeshadow brush, and I like to use it for concealer. So what I like to do next is use my LA Pro concealer in the color Cool Tan. And I like these applicators because they're really easy to apply underneath the eye and then just go in and shape out the brow. So I'm just gonna do that. And when you're putting your concealer underneath your brow with this, don't get super close. Get like this close, because it does something weird when you get too close to your brows, the concealer, when you're trying to go in and blend that out. So I'm using that same brush, but I'm flipping the brush to the other side that's sort of clean, and just carving out my brows. Just to blend out my brow a little bit, I'm going to use the Coastal Scents eyeshadow brush, and this is like a pinched little blending brush. Now, because I'm going to do a little bit of eyeshadow, I'm going to apply some of the concealer on my lids, just tapping it on there, because I want to do a little bit of eyeshadow. And for blending out my eyelids, I like to use a dome brush. This is the Real Techniques like little eyeshadow dome brush thing. Just go in. Ooh, that's hard. Blend that out. You could definitely just blend it out with your fingers. So I zoomed you in because we're gonna do eyeshadow now. So if I had to do my eyeshadow every single day, I would probably reach for my Morphe 350 palette. This palette is so pretty because I like orange tones on my eyes and browns. That's something I would do every day. So for my first shade, I'm gonna go into this one right here with my MAC 224 brush. This is a nice fluffy eyeshadow brush. I'm just gonna apply some of that color right beneath my brow bone. And I also like to bring my eyeshadow in towards my nose. So I'm gonna go in and use this shade right here, this one, and just go in my crease area, like right in my crease. I'm gonna use a little bit of this color and I'm gonna apply it with my finger. I'm gonna go a little bit higher than I usually would with my lid color. Just apply it a little bit further on the lid. Swiping it up and flicking my finger. This. So now I'm going to show you guys how I highlight and contour. I like to use the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the color Cafe. The only issue I have with this concealer is that it's a little bit liquidy, but that's kind of a plus for me because it gives me time to blend out the concealer without rushing. I don't like to apply the concealer right underneath my eye because I feel like anytime I do that, it starts to crease a lot quicker. So I move like a little centimeter underneath my eye and apply it there. And I like to flare out my concealer like this because it just really helps with the blending process and it gives your face more of a gradient. Anytime you apply makeup, always think of your blending before you start blending, if that makes sense. If you can make it a little bit easier to blend out, do that. So yeah, all I'm doing is applying it. And I've applied concealer in the center of my face just to brighten it up. This also helps to eliminate any dark circles or any hyperpigmentation that you didn't cover up with your foundation. And then down the bridge of my nose. I don't do the tip because when I blend it out, it goes towards the tip anyway. And I do a little bit on my forehead. Just wait a good minute until the concealer kind of dries down. While we're waiting for this concealer to dry, does anyone get in the middle of their makeup routine and then just get tired and don't want to do it anymore? That's me 99% of the time. Like right now is where I would want to be done and stop. All right, so now that that's sat for at least a good minute, I'm gonna take my microfiber sponge and just blend out the concealer. I like to tap the concealer into my skin, pressing it in just to make sure that the concealer is not really moving, it's just being pressed in. This concealer, the color is so perfect for me, like. So now I'm just gonna set my concealer so that it doesn't crease, and I like to set my concealer so that it looks a little bit brighter. So I'm gonna use the Too Faced Banana Cream setting powder. I'm gonna take my beauty blender and just kind of pat it into the powder. I'm just gonna press it into my skin like this. Just gonna go in and do the other eye, and I just press this powder into the skin. I'm not really baking at all. I'm just pressing the powder into my skin. This is really good for the everyday people as well because you don't have to bake. It's more of you just setting your makeup, you know. If you're dry, you don't necessarily have to do this, but you can if you want to. It just really helps me to get that brightening effect under my eye. That's really why I do it. Use the Fenty Espresso Matchstick. Ever since this came out, I've been using it nonstop. It's the perfect shade for contour for me. It's not too muddy, and it's not too red, and it's not too cool. So I just go in and blend that out with my sponge. And I don't need to apply a lot of this because a little bit goes a long way. And I bring the Access product onto my forehead. So now I'm gonna go in and set that cream with a powder. I'm gonna use the Bobbi Brown Deep 4 bronzing powder. This is one of my favorite bronzing powders. I go in and I'm gonna use the MAC 109 angled face brush for this. This is a really nice bronzing brush and contour brush actually. I'll just tap some of the excess off. And I just go in and just pat the bronzer on top of the contour. Don't pack this on too much because you'll start to look crazy. You may not be able to see color deposit on your face, but I promise you it's happening. With bronzer, it's supposed to be very like subtle. It's supposed to just look like the sun kissed your face, you know? A lot of people are like, oh my god, I don't see it, but then once you apply too much, you see it and then you just try to correct it. So I take the rest of that product, I pinch my brush like this to make it a mini fan brush, and I contour my nose with the excess product. And I pinch the brush so that it fits right on the sides of my nose. And I also bring some of the contour up into my eyes so that it contours everything. So I'm gonna go in and apply some blush. I'm gonna use a Milani powder blush. This is in the color Romantic Rose. I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna apply that to the apples of my cheeks and just blending it up. And I just blend it up. This is a nice, subtle, everyday blush. I never thought this would show up on me, but it definitely does. Some blush to my nose. This is extra. You don't have to do this, but to chisel my contour a little bit more, I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier translucent powder in medium deep. I'm going to apply some of that powder right underneath my contour area. Okay, I gotta hurry up because the sun is going down. So to highlight, I'm gonna use my Ofra fan brush. I'm gonna take the Maybelline Master Chrome in Molten Gold. To get that really pop-in highlight, I am going to spray my fan brush, and then I'm just gonna go into this highlighter and I'm going to apply it to my face. Look at that. Oh. Look at that highlight though. Just look at that. Like, excuse me? Like, did you say something about my highlight? I thought I heard you. You said what about my highlight? I haven't used this highlighter in so long and I have no idea why. Look how fire it looks. I apply some highlight to the tip of my nose, and I also apply some right here on the bridge. So I'm gonna take my foundation brush, the brush that we used earlier, and brush away that translucent powder that we put down here. Just making sure that there's no harsh lines or anything. So next I'm gonna spray my face. I'm gonna use this Pixie Makeup Fixing Mist, and this gives me a nice dewy glow, if I can get it out. So this is the final look, guys. I hope you enjoyed this in-depth tutorial. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.